Happened. It's live now. But you are muted. Still muted. I'm not gonna say anything stupid because I know you might open my microphone at any time. I can't.
Bum Billy Bum Billy Bum Billy 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 Bum.
We try to sync with the internet through the internet because I can hear something on the stream and then you are on a different tempo.
But when you play it back, man, I'm like in perfect harmony. Bum Billy Bum Billy Billy Bum Bum.
You know, during
this is a good test.
During COVID, people were trying to reinvent themselves, right? A lot of them with live streams and
true
features and whatnot. Remember this? It's not a couple, but two sisters. They are a band back in Brazil, like a country music or something, and they had this brilliant idea of doing a live stream, with everybody. But, they literally tried to do a live stream and sing together, but each one of them were in the different places, right? So they could never get the synchronization.
Wasn't one of the things that didn't. I don't think that there's internet good enough yet. Until we've got we're teleporting photons and protons and neutrons and.
Well, I heard something this week.
What? What did you hear?
No, okay, I see ourselves now. Yeah, I was just checking the stream. I heard this news this week was a transplant, a surgery that the guy, robotic surgery. The doctor was somewhere and the patient was in Toronto, and the doctor was operating the robots, remotely. That's quite impressive, man. I don't know. Have you heard about that or anything like that?
No, I have never I haven't seen anything on the news like that. I did. It does remind me of this story though of a man who had to have his private parts put back together in an amputation like that, and they didn't have robotics then, so he decided to elect to have an elephant's trunk, like muscles, put there instead. He thought like, hey, this is a great idea, and so everything went well. The procedure was good, and then no complaints, and all of a sudden he's back at the doctor's office, and he's like, dude, what do you want? I gave you an elephant trunk, right? You should be the happiest man on the planet. And he's like, no, don't get me wrong. It's absolutely amazing. He said, but every time I go out for dinner, it reaches up on the table and grabs the dinner roll and it shoves it up my butt. So, there you go. There's your dad joke. There's your relationship with, I don't know about robotics, Joe. I don't know about robotics, but there you go. Cheers. It's been like 3 weeks. Hope you're doing well, friend. There you go. We got a great laugh. He loved the joke. It was a top tier comedy. Yes, sir.
One of the biggest, how can I say this? It's very disappointing learning a new language because it's very difficult to get the subtlety of the joke, right? But this one you nailed because I could, yeah.
No matter the language, you got that right. Everybody knows the elephant truck.
I get the visual, my GPU started to work.
Fine-tuned. The algorithm is accepted.
My graphical processing was in tune.
No translation required. Hey, it's been a minute. Who knows if we're going to talk about, fascinating technology and elephant procedures. It's great. I love to kick it off. It's been a while, Joe. I hope you're doing well, friend.
Brother, yeah, man. Oh, unfortunately, we both have been very, very busy and we couldn't met the last 3 weeks. Almost 3 weeks, right?
It's been forever. Yeah, something like that. It's been roughly that, yeah.
Yeah, I am behind on the Spotify posting. I still have our last episode. I couldn't edit and
we were real rusty then. We might even keep that one off. For me, that's going to be you got to pay to see us in such a sorry state. It's behind the scenes.
Yeah, that one was kind of.
Oh. Well, that was the one where we zoomed in my face because we couldn't get it to work. Oh my god, that was a nightmare.
It was very funny, it was very funny, but it was so difficult to get it going, and then we had all these technical difficulties, but
yeah, no, absolutely.
But the video is not usable, just the audio.
Yeah, it's definitely one for the books.
Maybe ChatGPT can help us. We put the original and put our photographs, and then ChatGPT is going to create our video like we are here.
Hey, that's true. We could do that.
Have you tried the ChatGPT image creation lately?
Oh, I did the what was the one where it was like the anime style? I did that. I did a cool one. It was like right at like the peak of everybody was posting it on LinkedIn.
Yeah, I saw.
And
and I thought to myself, oh no, Jeremy, even Jeremy is doing that.
That was mine, but I had one that was I did it with on Facebook how every once in a while it'll like, hey, 3 years ago, here's a memory from a picture. There was a memory that had popped up on my timeline of me and my wife like way back in like over a decade ago, and it was just us young 20-year-olds, and we'd taken this trip to a beautiful place, and highly recommend you visit if people listen to this and you're in San Antonio, in Texas, not San Antonio, but there's this place called Canyon Lake, I think is what it's called, and they've got like a big restaurant. It's like a massive Mexican restaurant that has like 3 stories, and there's like an elevator in it, and it's like they have like high traffic. I'm not even saying the restaurant's that good, but the view. Like it's on the lake and you just see the sunset, and it's like picturesque where kind of hills, rolling hills, and it like always, sets on the lake. It's pretty nice.
So on this Texas topic, I was driving around here in the Toronto area, and then my wife and I we were looking for a restaurant. Actually, we went to a place. We had this place in mind, and then when we got there, I look across the street, and there was this other place called Texas Grill.
Mm-hmm.
And in my mind, I picture like uh, what is that? What is that?
Like a steakhouse
Barb-
or what else?
yeah, a steakhouse, but brisket. I picture
Oh, okay.
briskets all
Uh-huh.
over the place,
Ah.
and uh, ribs and
Yeah,
whatnot.
yeah, yeah. Sure.
And I thought, let's try that, right? And we went, but when we got there, it was kind of just Mexican food. No, see, I
He's
love Mexican
disappointed. It's
food.
like it was
I love-
only Mexican food. It was
I love
only-
Mexican food.
Don't
You
get
know,
me
one
wrong.
of my
I
favorite
love Mexican food.
food now these days is the burrito. But
Ooh, okay.
I set my expectation to briskets and ribs and whatnot.
Yeah.
And then when I got there, there was Mexican food, so I wasn't expecting that. And okay, we were here. Let's try, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not going back there because there's no steaks there. No
Yeah.
briskets.
Man, no, right? It's definitely got to have your flavor. Texas has the whole gamut here, right? You can go to like a nice steakhouse where they've got like different cuts of meat that you can pick from, right? And they know how to cook it. And then and it's like a sit down restaurant. Or you've got the place where they've got the smokers in the back and they're making it. It's been smoking for 12, 13 hours. And you just kind of walk. It's like cafeteria style. You walk in, you say, I need 3 meats and 2 sides, right? And you just like sausage or ribs or whatever with big old mac and cheese. And then you just go sit down at like picnic tables, right? And that's what they got in napkins. So they got like a different varieties of barbecue. But I mean, it's okay. They even got like, here they got like Bill Miller's. It's like McDonald's, but barbecue food. You can just like drive through and get just barbecue food, brisket and, and hot links and, taters and ribs and stuff.
Nice, man. I found the food in the United States quite amazing. You have so many different flavors. Like it's you can go to many different restaurants. It's different than Canada because here in Canada we have a lot of these franchises, right? So
Yeah.
you go to Toronto, of course there are local restaurants, but when you go outside, there's so many franchises, and then go to another city, you see the same franchises. One, again and
What do
again
you
and
got
again.
there? What do you got there? What's the franchises?
Jack Astor's, Montana.
You got a place called Montana?
I think-
They're
yeah, I
gonna
think
rename.
that's
They're
right,
gonna
yeah.
rename that in a year or two, right? That ain't gonna be the place's name. That's funny. You go to Canada and their franchises are called Montana. I don't know why I thought that was.
Milestone is another one. Bar Burrito.
Never heard of these ever.
Bar Burrito is everywhere.
Barburrito. Is that
I
your
love
new
it.
thing?
Yeah. I
What
love
is
it.
that? What the is Barburito? What is a Barburito?
It's Mexican food and it's actually delicious, but it's kind of a fast food Mexican food.
Yeah. It's like
so you
Chipotle
get-
or
I think so. I've never had a Chipotle, but I think it's like a Chipotle. You go there and then you have the buffet, and then I want a burrito.
yeah, and you walk.
with
Yeah,
ground
yeah.
beef, beans,
What do they
rice.
call those? They have a name for those restaurants, but yeah, it's like the Chipotle model. It's the
It's not,
same.
it's not fast food, but it's kind of franchised.
Yeah.
So everywhere you go, actually,
Bar
it's funny
burrito.
because there's one close to our place, and there's this guy, this server. This guy is amazing. Whenever we go there, he put double
Nice.
guacamole,
Hook you
double this, double that.
up.
So yeah, but I love it. I love bar burrito.
So,
But this is the problem of Canada. So it's good for those that like because wherever you go, you can find the flavor you like.
sure.
But it's a problem because wherever you go, that's what you have it, right?
Yeah, it's all you got. That's what your thing is. That's funny. There's especially if it's like chain based too. I don't think America's much different, right? There's like things that you do, but then there's stuff that you get that's sort of like regional, like White Castle, right? You can't. They've got these little tiny. They're like like this big, like little tiny, like bite-sized snack size, like cheeseburgers, and they're really good. But you only can get those in like the southeast United States, and then they have places like Rallies or Checkers, where that's in the Northeast, and they got these seasoned French fries, and the only way you can get them probably from the store and stuff, right? But if you want to get them fresh and like there, so you stop by those places when you're there, but then you got, of course, your national chains like McDonald's and Burger Kings.
Oh
and
yeah,
Taco
man,
Bells.
it's
I
funny
like Taco Bell.
because food is probably what I miss the most from Brazil. Because
Really? I like a
and I
Brazilian
believe
steakhouse.
I believe it's like the US because you go to in Brazil, you go to the south, it's very, very common, steakhouses everywhere, and they are so delicious.
Yeah.
And then every state that you go, there's this specific type of food that's just there. You know the people by the food they eat,
Yeah. Yeah.
essentially, right? If they say, "Oh, I want to eat a barbecue," oh, you are from the south,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right
Yep.
away. Oh, I want to eat like one very specific. It's called piqui. So piqui is a fruit. I don't know if it's a fruit. It's something like an egg. I think it's a fruit or a seed, but it's this big, like an egg. And my wife,
Interesting.
from the state that she comes, they eat that with rice. So if you say anywhere that you eat piqui,
Yeah.
they know right away
What are you talking
where
about?
you're coming from, right?
Yeah. Yeah. They have that too. I don't and it's funny too, you talk about like India and stuff, they'll have different flavors and different types of curries and stuff like that depending on what area you're from. I think in the Philippines they have different kinds of curry and like how they mix that, whether different layers of seasonings and stuff. But this is funny, right? Because I've always like people make these jokes all the time, right? So you take, for instance, like here in Texas, and I want to go get Mexican food, and you just made a comment a second ago about Mexican food. But if you go to Mexico, like it's just a burrito, right? It's not Mexican food. It's just
Yeah.
food. So when you say I really miss the food back in Brazil, like they have one of these things in the US that is sort of like kind of fancy and that people go to and they love it and I love it, called a Brazilian steakhouse.
Yeah. I
So
know.
do you now in
I
Brazil,
know.
is this like a normal steakhouse in Brazil, or is that not even like how they normally do steakhouses? That's not really what they do, and that's just like an Americanized
No.
thing.
So here's the thing. From what I heard, this this franchise or this brand that you have in America, we also I think is Fogo de Chão.
Yeah,
Fogo de
Fogo de
Chão.
Chao. They have like
Yeah.
Texas de Brazil. There's like one or two
So
different ones.
just
Chamagachas.
some context. Fogo de Chão means fire on the ground. So that's one way we cook our ribs.
Okay.
We put the rib on the ground,
Uh-huh.
like in a steak, not in a kind of bowl,
Yeah.
right? Standing up, and then we
Ah.
make the fire around,
Yeah.
and it has to be there for like hours, like 6, 10 hours, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the rib fogo de chão. That's
Yeah.
how we call it. But yeah, we do have fogo de chão in Brazil and so many others like that.
Yeah.
And it is like that, even better than that because a steakhouse in Brazil is not like here that you go to a steakhouse and you have 5, 6 types of steaks.
Yeah.
You actually have a parade of steaks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not only steaks, you have pasta, you have cheeses, you have all
Hmm.
sorts of food, even Chinese food.
Oh my
Seriously,
gosh.
it's from another world.
Yeah. Did
But
I
yeah,
ever?
it's just like that,
It's just
man.
like so. It's the same
Yeah,
as they do in the U.S. Then I don't think
yeah,
it's as that extreme. I've been to quite a few of them, and they vary in their level of extravagance, and you'll say the level of variety in the meats, if you will.
yeah,
But it's funny you mentioned that, like how it's like a steak in the ground, because they bring it on a steak, right? They're walking
yeah.
around, and they'll just say, "I want that," and they'll just chop
Right.
it up. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah, kind
And
of.
did I ever tell you about the first time I went to a Brazilian steakhouse?
No,
Okay,
no, I don't
so
know.
Yeah, I don't remember like I don't know what the situation was, but for some reason I was like super broke at this time, and I got invited to friends, and it was like some kind of thing, so I kind of like had to go. But I like it was one of those like where you're counting the dollars in your bank account, and you're like literally doing the math, trying to say how much would it be for taxes? Do I have
Yep,
enough
yep.
to do this? And I'd never been to a Brazilian steakhouse before, so I didn't know how it operated. And in this place, they have the card, you know, they keep coming or don't come. But they brought a bunch of, they don't bring the cheeses and the rolls and stuff on the parade. They just kind of put it on your table. And I'm thinking, like, you know, most of the time that stuff's kind of community, and I don't have a lot of money. So I'm like starting to eat the rolls and the mashed potatoes and the, you know, the cheeses and the stuff. I'm gonna get full, and they start bringing the meats, and I'm like, dude, how do they? I was like, dude, I don't know what the hell the meat prices are. You know, I'm thinking like, how much is this meat price? So I'm like, I skipped the first meat because it looks way too nice. I'm like, bro, that looked like some sirloin steak. I can't afford that. And then they bring another one. I'm like, let me try that one. Oh, it's a chicken piece wrapped in bacon. I could try that. I could probably afford that. And so after a few rounds, I'm thinking like, dude, these servers must be excellent. How do they keep track of what everybody's eating? How are they going to know what to charge? And I'm still eating rolls. I'm getting full at this point. And then finally, like, the meal's done, and I asked somebody, I'm like, hey, dude, how in the hell do they keep track between, like, what you ate and how many pieces of steak they ate? And they're like, oh, no, it's just one price. You just pay it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? I got so full off of rolls and taters and barely ate. I had enough money to pay for the actual meal too. I could pay the dinner price and everything, and I didn't know. I missed out. But after that, I knew, right? And every time I went, I wouldn't eat for like the whole day, and then I would go, and I was just like,
Oh yeah, for sure. So here's the thing. Back home, because after I came to Canada, there is one. There's a couple of Brazilian steakhouses in the Toronto area, but I've never been to them because it's so expensive. But back home, we used to go, you know, very very often. But it usually was my only meal in the day. I wouldn't have breakfast, and I wouldn't have dinner after that. So I would eat a lot. So
yeah.
essentially, uh, oh man, a few pounds of food in my belly in one meal. That was very very common, and it is tradition, right? So it's that kind of thing that
Excuse me.
everybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody goes to the steakhouse. Everybody, we celebrate. We do parties.
Yeah. Yeah.
We celebrate anniversaries. We celebrate
Exactly. That's when we went. The last
birthdays,
time I went was like 2 years for like an anniversary or a birthday.
Exactly. So back home we say, okay, today my birthday. Today is my birthday. Let's go to the steakhouse. So we go. Today is my uh,
I
wedding
graduated.
anniversary.
Yeah.
I graduated. I got a new job. So everything is
I love that. I love that. I would love to go. I love to go. Dude, Brazilian, that's got to be one of the top dining experiences there are that I've experienced. I've experienced some pretty cool ones too. But that is just like, as far as how you do it and the quality of the foods and the variety, and if you've never done it, as going in as your first time and experiencing it, like, it's very very cool. There's not a lot like that, right? Have you done Korean barbecue, like real?
Yes, in
like
Vegas.
Okay, so that's Korean barbecue, but that's different. No, I mean like traditional Korean barbecue, like you sit at a table and there's a grill in between you.
No.
So like me and you, there would have been a grill at the table, and you order the meats and you cook the meats right there, or they bring like tofu and they bring like chicken or bacon, and you cook it right there, and then they bring your rice and stuff. And it's kind of like a family style meal. So that's kind of a cool one too. And it's like all you can eat sometimes as well. We go in there and you just get stuffed. So that's a cool one. And Japanese, they have this thing called shabu shabu, which is pretty good too. You heard of that one?
Shabu shabu, no.
Yeah, and so that's sort of like, they have like a big boiling pot. It's like in the middle of the table, and it's sort of family style as well, but it's just like a boiling pot of water, and they have these super thin like meat slices, and you put like vegetables in there and you boil it and you kind of make a broth, and then you'll dip the meats in there only for kind of a couple seconds, but kind of people just dip the meats in there as they want it and they boil it and add vegetables.
But you know something, I think it varies from country to country, right? The definition of Japanese style, the definition of Japanese style in the U.S. is different than Japanese style in Brazil. And
Yeah, very true.
I'm saying that because in Brazil we like a lot this eat all you can no all you can eat style, right? So if it's a Japanese all you can eat, so it's going to be a lot of Japanese Brazilian style sushis and sashimis and whatnot.
Oh yeah, so that's different, but yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so mushrooms, man. We used to go to Japanese type of restaurant where we would eat them for hours, and then
Yeah.
it's different, a little bit different because you have to look at the menu and then okay, I want this and this and that, so they would bring to you, right? It's a little bit different. But
Yeah.
pizza, so something that I've never seen here in North America, all you can eat pizza, right?
Yeah, they don't
You
have that a
go,
lot of places here. You got to go to, they have like, it's like a chain. Like you have to go to like a Peter Pan's to get all you can eat pizza here.
yeah, so that's the most common kind of restaurant in Brazil, all you can eat pizza.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's got to be
absolutely.
probably cheap to make, pizza. You can make pretty,
It, well, yeah, because it's not expensive. It's very, very affordable.
yeah.
Most of the time, like $20
I mean,
for
saw
all you
Red
can eat.
Lobster almost went out of business trying to do all you can eat shrimp. Like, I mean, bro,
Yeah, they
you gotta
cut
be
it all, right?
careful. Yeah, you
Because
almost went bankrupt because of it.
my wife and I,
They
we
did went
went there
bankrupt.
1 year ago, and then they had this all you can eat shrimp. Oh, we both got it,
You
right?
did? You did?
Oh my
Oh,
god!
you went
And
ham, huh?
we
Hey.
we hammered, man. We went all in.
Nice, nice, nice.
But then we went back like a couple of months ago, and they we
Oh
didn't
no,
have
yeah,
anymore.
no, they almost went out of business because of that. They brought in a new,
Really?
yeah, they brought in like a new CEO. He turned him around and stuff. I think he went to Olive Garden now or somewhere. I can't remember. I don't know where he went. But yeah, no, it was bad. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. But yeah, no, I was talking more like styles, right? Because even like you take Japan, right?
Mhm.
Shabu shabu is one type, like Brazilian steakhouse. In Brazil, Brazilian steakhouse ain't the only kind of food, right? You can go and get other,
Yeah,
just normal restaurant food. And shabu shabu is just one style. They have very similar and just as popular ramen shops in Japan, right? It's just you go in there and they got different kinds of ramen. You sit down and they got little boxes you can chill. They got them in the train stations, and so yeah, I think there's just different kinds of styles. But I think that I do really enjoy like the Brazilian steakhouse, like
yeah,
quality and style. It's very good.
yeah. It
Even
is.
here in the U.S.
It is, and I recommend anybody that has the opportunity and can afford, because I know outside of Brazil it's not that cheap.
Oh my
But
god.
yeah, it's definitely worth going, and at least once in a lifetime.
What's the cost for Brazilian steakhouse? What is the cost per person, or for like like a dinner time in
um,
North America, in Canada?
okay, I left Brazil 5 years ago, so I know price has changed. I don't know how much it is right now. I know it changed a lot. I don't know how much, but back in the day, it would be in U.S. dollars, um, $20.
Okay. Yeah, it's about for here. If you want to go to like Fogo de Chao, it's like probably like 50 or 60
Yeah, yeah,
for like a dinner time
yeah.
seat.
Yeah. So yeah, probably today I would bet that today would be $40, double, right?
Yeah.
For one person. But it is worth going because
Yeah, it's worth every dollar.
if you are a meat eater, like you can eat like pounds and pounds of meat in one sitting. And there's no time limit. There's no time and there's no quantity. You can, if you can sit and eat for 5 hours, you are going to do that.
Yeah, right. That's very true. That's very true.
Yeah.
I
It's
haven't.
different, right?
Yeah.
I've seen some places, sorry to cut you off,
No, you're
but I've
good.
seen some places here that they do put a time limit. Like,
Yeah,
you
some
can stay
places
here
do.
for
Yep.
2 hours,
Yep. Especially like
right?
the Korean barbecue places, they do have a time limit on that.
Yeah.
how long you
Yeah.
can sit there.
Exactly. So
But
I
that's
don't
also
mind it.
because it's like they keep rotating through the meat, right? And they don't some people abuse it. But I mean, I can't. It's been a while, man. I can't think. See, you're talking about all you can eat shrimp, and now I'm thinking about seafood for dinner, maybe tomorrow. But I can't. It's been a while. I haven't had a good experience. Like even for my birthday, like 2 months ago, we went out and went to a Spanish restaurant and tried to have paella, and it was just not very good. Probably the worst one I'd ever had.
Peruvian paella is
Um,
Peruvian or Mexican?
yeah, I don't. This place wasn't Peruvian. I don't think it was like Mexican or Spanish.
I
Some
yeah,
type of.
the Latin America
Let me
culture,
see. Yeah.
it's a little bit because it mix a lot. But I think I know what that what that is. Is it something that they bury on the ground to
No,
cook?
no papaya. It's like papaya, like the. I mean, paella, like the. Sorry, I was reading something on the internet.
Papaya?
Papaya, paella. No, it's like a rice dish. It's like
Oh, no,
they
no, no.
they do different things with it. Like it's like slow cooked rice. It's supposed to be cooked over for a while. It's like when you order it and they make it fresh. You can usually plan to stay at the restaurant for like an hour before you get your food when they actually make it because you
Oh, nice.
gotta cook it.
By the way, while you were searching, let me tell you this. This week, because
Yep.
I moved out from the Toronto area, but this week I had to go to the Toronto. There was a quarter meeting for the team,
Yeah.
a planning meeting. We went there, and I met a friend of mine, and that it was actually the first time I met this friend in person. It's a Brazilian lady.
Mm-hmm.
She
Cool.
she has been living in Canada for more than 3 decades,
Oh wow.
and we met because we worked together and we chatted a lot. We had some projects that we worked together, but only virtual, right? Only virtual meetings
Yeah.
through Teams and video and whatnot. And then we finally met this time,
That's
and
cool.
I knew she used to listen to our podcast, because
Ah.
every now and then she would make some comments on Teams. But then this time it was so awesome, and I will tell her name. It is, well, in Portuguese. If I get the pronunciation correctly, still is Shirley, but here in Canada people say Shirley, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure.
Like
Sure.
Shirley Temple,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and she was so awesome, and I hope she is listening to this because she was talking about the last episode I uploaded with Nicholas.
Yeah. That was good. That was a good one.
And she was asking, "Oh, how are you doing? How are things with UiPath? What are your thoughts?" And I was saying, "Oh my God, I don't know. I'm tired. I've been so working
Wrapped
too
up.
much,
Yeah.
and I don't know if I will keep it up." And she was, "No, you have to keep it up. This is so awesome. I was listening,
That's
and
so cool.
I man, that was so awesome from her.
That's so cool to
I really
hear.
liked it, and I really liked it, and I told her that I liked very much her feedback. But
Yeah. Thank you. My
yeah,
I'm already fond of that because my grandmother's name was Shirley. That was her name.
Mm.
That was her name. And lots of fond memories of that woman. She was amazing. To this day, even to this day, all these years later, I've still never had anybody cook catfish nuggets as good as she can cook them. Like just hands down.
catfish nuggets.
Yeah, yeah. She'd take like catfish fillets and she'd make this catfish nugget out of them, and
Hmm.
she'd like Cajun put like this Cajun batter on them, and they'd always just be so juicy. No matter where I go and get catfish, I've still not had it cooked as good as she used to cook it when I was a kid.
Dude, grandma food is just hard to beat, right?
Yeah,
It's just hard to beat. You have that because it's not only the food, it's not only the taste, it's also the memory.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's a lot of dimensions that you have to put into perspective
Can't
because
beat that.
you put it all into perspective, right? You put the
Right.
taste, the occasion, what you had in mind, your feelings,
Yep.
and what that brings to you. Man, I
Yeah.
have so good memories in my
Yeah. See.
grandparents' house.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to beat those,
No,
man.
you can't, especially looking now too, man. Like we're not getting any younger, right? It seems like the Earth is speeding up, going quicker around the sun to me nowadays. So yeah, it's definitely I can relate to that. And so I don't know why it kind of popped in my brain. And she wrote books too. She wrote a book or two. I'll have to go see. I know I wasn't interested in that. I was definitely interested in those catfish nuggets, but I wasn't too interested in the book when I was her age. But I
She
know how to
wrote a
read.
book, you said?
Yeah, back in the day. Yeah, I don't
Really?
nothing super crazy, but she still wrote something, which is more than most people do. I'm
More
trying
than what I
to
did.
exactly. Yeah,
I've
exactly.
never wrote a book.
More than I have at this point, even though I'm working on one. I'm writing one, but it's still. But yeah,
Yeah.
cool. I'm glad we got some good feedback. I'm glad that people have found interest in what we share. I'm glad people are able to maybe forget about nonsense and enjoy some shenanigans. Hopefully, I don't offend anybody with my elephant jokes. I thought that was a funny joke.
Yeah, I just hope my daughter don't listen to that because
Yeah, I kept all the curse words out, but it's pretty funny. It's still pretty funny.
no, it is. It is. It was probably the most
You were
the
not
funniest
expecting it.
the funniest because I was talking about something like technological, and then you brought it up, and I was okay. I know
I
this
had to
is
go
getting
analog.
somewhere. I know this is getting somewhere. What is the point? And then I
You
got
went
it.
digital, I went analog. My bad. Had to kick it off. It's been a long time since we were on the mic, so I had to make sure that the person when they come back and listen to it, they got a nice welcome back joke. So
No, that was funny. That was funny. But you know what? Um, going back to the jokes in another language, I am getting more and more, but I still feel that Americans and Canadians don't have a good sense of humor.
it's
Like
not aligned. The comedy's different.
they don't know what's fun, or their sense of fun is so different than mine that
Yeah.
I see these comedy shows and I see people laughing their ass out, and I
You're like,
just,
dude, that's not even
oh,
funny.
this is not
I hate
fun.
that, dude. That's why, bro. That's why I'm not on social media heavily because I see people doing TikToks and they're doing these videos. And first of all, and I get it. I'm not Steven Spielberg, but some of the production quality and the clips are just so garbage. And I'm like, how do people watch these? But then, like some of the stuff they talk about or what they say, I'm like, bro, that's not funny. That skit's not funny. It's not funny.
You know one thing that I found interesting is people like Joe Rogan. I really like Joe Rogan, but as a podcast host,
Yeah.
I don't I don't find him funny at all. I don't laugh at his jokes. That's one.
Okay.
Another one that I don't know, you might
I heard sound
uh,
garbage in the chat. What are you thinking?
Jerry Seinfeld. I love his show. I watched the entire show, the 9 seasons, and I
Seinfeld,
am
man.
I am kind of rewatching again.
Yeah.
But
No soup for you.
no soup for you. And I love Kramer. For me, is the best character in the show. But I don't like Jerry Seinfeld jokes. I just find not funny. You
That's
know?
fun. That is funny that you like this show, but you don't like the.
Yeah.
You're
So
like, yeah.
different, like
So it's
go
probably
go.
definitely no. I was thinking too because doesn't it show? I never watched it like that, but doesn't it like start off with him kind of doing like stand up
Yeah,
comedy?
yeah,
Yeah, so it's
yeah.
so funny. Like, and maybe that's why I never got into the show because I used to watch him and those jokes that he would say. Like, I don't think I watched so many and I never laughed. And like after you
No.
watch like 3 or 4 episodes and they do that and you don't think it's funny, I never continue. But some of the times it's just the writing of the story is better, right, than the jokes, which makes it good.
Yeah, but you know what I like, because it's so like daily life. For me, it's daily life. There's one episode that he goes somewhere with Elaine, and they are renting a car, and then they
Yeah.
get there, and the front desker say, "Oh, we don't have a car." And then he says, "But I made a reservation." And then the lady said, "Yes, we get a reservation, but we don't have the car." So it goes beyond. And then I found fun at the time, right?
Yeah.
But then later, I was somewhere, I was traveling with my family, and I made a reservation, and I got to the front desk. "Oh, we don't have a car." Immediately
You got the joke, right? You actually made it funny, right? It connected.
I connected the dots, and that was exactly what happened to me, right? So
That's too
it's
funny.
kind of this daily life. So
There you go.
it's not, it's different.
Yeah.
But what the point that I wanna make is, I like one thing that this person does, but I don't like the other thing that this person does.
Mm.
I put the like two examples,
Yeah.
Joe Rogan and Seinfeld, but there's more. There's more that I could tell.
Yeah. No, I'm the same way with Jack Black, right? Like you take him for example, like people loved him in School of Rock and stuff like that. Like I don't like Jack Black when has these kind of seriousness level with the humor roles, right? But I got to take it in there. I got to take it where he's completely ridiculous, like Nacho Libre. You know, I did it
Did you
like
watch Tenacious D?
Nacho. Which one?
Tenacious D?
I don't. I can't remember if I've seen that. I might have to watch that
Oh,
if it's like over the top. But I think
it's
that
the
it kind
best.
of
The
reminded
best of
me,
Jack Black.
and so like I'm the same way though, right? It's the same way. Like I'll take the comedy in one way, but then in another way, I'm like I can't do it. But I don't. Sometimes it might, like you said, sometimes it might take age, right? Like I don't. Like I thought Kung Pao was hilarious as a teenager. I wonder if I go back and watch that if I'll think it's as
What is
funny.
that?
It's
Kung
like
Pao?
yeah, it's like an old kung fu movie where it's like an old Bruce Lee movie and
Mhm.
a modern movie spliced together with like ad libs and just over the top
Yeah,
karate.
yeah. I find that interesting because some shows, some movies, when you watch, you have that memory, right? And then
Yeah.
you rewatch, you just discard it because it's not the same thing. You don't like
Hey, cat
anymore,
burger.
and you don't like anymore, and then it kind of breaks that fond,
Yeah,
that
that the
you
nostalgia
had
that you
with.
had, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
But some others, it just grows, right? It just grows
Yeah.
as you watch it again and again and again.
Yeah.
Like for me, a couple of examples: Matrix.
Mm.
Like I can rewatch as many times as I want. I will love that movie, and every time
Don't
that I
matter, right?
watch, man, I get in love even more. Another one would be not Rocky, Sylvester Stallone, the Rambo.
Oh,
Rambo.
Rambo,
Man,
you're a big Rambo fan?
the first one, even more. The first movie for me is the
Loves
best
it.
movie at all times, man. Even with the errors, I
Even
love it.
with it built in? I
Yeah,
wonder if
yeah.
Rome Dog likes Rambo. I don't know.
I
Go ahead.
I just find so, for me, it's a scenario. It's a it's a it is a
Aliens is
story
good.
that can happen,
Yeah.
and I already saw that happening in real life. So
That's pretty cool. I have movies like that too, right? Like some people definitely think this is a cheese movie, but I feel the same way about it. That's like Anaconda. It's like a really weird movie, but it's like a classic to me. It's not like a series. And even when I go back and watch it, I recognize it for the fundamental cheese and the ridiculousness of the accents and like everything, but like I accept it and I still enjoy the movie, like the thematics, the nature of the snake and the over dramatic. It doesn't get old to me. And another one
yeah,
that wasn't the same genre, but I watched with my family, and I was worried that it just wasn't gonna hold up the test of time, but I still enjoyed it and they liked it, and that was Twister.
Twister,
The old
really?
Twister. I thought like with special effects nowadays, like it just wouldn't hit. but it was still good. The original Twister, even today, like the family, the kids, like my wife, and she had never seen it. She'd never seen the original one, so
Oh,
she
that's
got to watch
funny.
it. So it was all right.
There's a new
It was
version,
still
right?
good. Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what happened. I think is like that one had come out, and we'd watch that one, or we wanted to watch it, and I said, well, let's watch the other one first, or
Yeah.
vice versa. So we did that, and I thought the new one was good too. I didn't mind it. I mean, it's got to when they do something like that, they got to kind of stick to form like how the original was, and so sometimes that can make it too predictable or too cliche. But I wasn't watching it for that. I just wanted to see what the tornadoes would look like with modern technology.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
how are they gonna do that? So yeah, it was
You know,
alright.
one movie that I watched with my family, that both my wife and I we had watched when we were kids, and then let's watch with our daughter now. Home Alone.
Oh man,
Man, that is a classic. Not one classic. That's a series of classics, right?
Yeah.
Because they made a series,
Home Alone.
and it was funny, so funny. I couldn't hold myself. My belly was aching. When we laughed so
Yeah, your
much
face
that
hurts.
the angst
Oh yeah.
it hurts. And you remember a few months ago we went to Chicago, and
Mm-hmm.
my wife was googling, and she found that the actual McAllister house is in the suburbs of Chicago. So we went there,
Had to.
and
Had to.
we took pictures all in front of the house, and look, we were here.
Yeah, you're talking about the first one, right? Yeah, their family home, the family home. Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. I don't know. For a
And-
second, I was thinking of Lost in New York.
Lost in New York.
Yeah, Home Alone, Lost in New York. Was that like the first one or
Oh,
the
probably the
second? That was the
the
second one.
third,
That was the
yeah.
second one. Yeah, Lost in New York. And I was picturing that house there, but that was
Oh,
totally
and,
different.
and he
one.
got the credit card from
Yeah,
the parents,
yeah.
and he just yeah.
Dude, that Home Alone is a classic. Marv, the wet bandits, or the sticky bandits, like those are. I still use some of those memes where he's like getting electrocuted and he turns into the skeleton. Like I still in the guy's chat, I still use those things. Those are classics. I'll have to watch that with Kato when he gets a little older. I think he'll think it's so funny. Oh, dude, we'll have to do that.
man.
We'll have to watch that for Chris. I'm gonna do that. Now that you said that, I'm gonna adopt that and I'm gonna watch
Yeah,
that. with-
Christmas is the best
Yeah,
the best
yeah.
time to watch that.
It's a good
I
idea.
watched when my daughter was probably around 10 years old, and she loved it. She
Yeah.
loved. We laughed so much together, man. It was,
That
was
sounds
one
so
of the
cool.
was epic. Was epic.
Yeah, it's one of the as they say in the Inside Out, it's a core memory. There's a core memory there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good. That's
You-
good.
Did you watch the second one? Since we were talking about
Yeah,
movies, did you watch?
yeah.
Oh, man,
Kato
we
loved the first one, and as a 4-year-old, to hear him like use those terms randomly, like when we went to Disneyland and took him to Disneyland, like this is a core memory, like him saying that stuff, like that was really
Really?
cool. Yeah. As a
Oh,
at
nice.
4-year-old, 4 years old, like he's already kind of thinking. He understands his emotion. He's still talking, like even now, like he understands like his rage. Like he realizes when he has that, which is good because he's got some of it. But
One for from the second movie, the best scene for me is when the girl, I forgot her name, Riley, right? Riley, when she goes somewhere, and then she comes home, and she's the parents ask, "Oh, how was it?" And she said, "Oh, it was fine." So I don't know what is first, but the moms, the mom's mind, they are, oh my god, she just said it was fine. What happened?
What happened? Yeah,
Something
yeah.
And then the
The
father
dad.
says, okay, it's fine for me. Okay, let's go back to work.
Yeah, it's so funny. Yeah, I like that scene when they show that because I definitely can relate to the dad in that one. It's another one of those where it relates perfectly to the environment sometimes,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
It's too crazy. But man, Joe, it's been
Oh.
almost an hour. It's been almost a month since we did this. It's nice to get back in the loop. I'm still gonna
Yep.
probably be sporadic. as the baby's due in 2 months.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
man.
so we're gonna be. The good news is I found out that my amazing organization has paternity leave, so I'll be
that's
able to
fine.
take. Yeah,
That's
I'll
awesome.
be able to take a good 6 weeks off. So during those 6 weeks, even with the baby, if I can figure it out, my wife will be taking time off too, and so I could probably still squeeze in a podcast
Yeah.
here to keep myself sane.
No, absolutely, man. I mean, I totally get it, and I don't complain because I'm also being very, very busy lately. So,
Yeah.
to be honest, I am very tired these days, with a lot of work going
Yeah.
on and sleep deprivation sometimes. But yeah, let's keep it going, right? We have at least 52 episodes to do. So
Yeah, there we go.
we
We're
made
doing
a commitment.
Hey,
we made a commitment.
we're doing good. We will definitely finish it out. Thank you so much, Rome Dog, for the congratulations. But yeah, no, I think it's starting to clean get some space on my end. You know what I'm saying? So, and I've also been doing other things like getting in shape and getting my diet and stuff back together. So I think that all these things will work good and we'll get it back on track. I enjoy it. And over this year, I think there'll be a lot of stuff to discuss. We've got technology changing rapidly. You know, your and I's careers are adapting rapidly in the family life. And on top of that, I think that, you know, the economy and politics are changing rapidly. So there's going to be lots of stuff to talk about for years. We kept it light today, but we're not going to be able to avoid the consequence of not talking about real life shit, you know, every week.
Yeah. Today was an easy, not recovery, but a rebounce.
Yeah, nice
I would
like
say
warm
from
up.
a 3 weeks break,
Yep.
unintentionally, but you know, it ended up happening. But yeah, definitely, there's no shortage of good topics to talk.
Yep.
And yeah,
That's good, and
forward
I'll
to
bring
it.
the elephant jokes. So we'll be solid. Oh God! On that note, Joe, let me cue out our absolute outro music. Oh my goodness, man, it's been a pleasure, brother. I can't believe it. It's been
likewise.
nice to get back. It's nice to just hang out and talk to you again, dude.
yeah, man. Are we out or are we still going?
Oh,
I
boom! Well, our
Okay.
faces are, but your mic is still going. Rome
Yeah,
Dog
so-
Solid, thank you for the feedback.
Yeah.
But,
so it's your friend, right, Rome Dog, because he's always on the chat.
Rome Dog is the man. He's always hanging out.
Yeah.